Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I appreciate you joining me today for this speed build, and as you can see, this is a shell challenge where I'll be transforming these oddly shaped boxes into something that resembles a livable house. We'll skip the hard work part where I changed everything at least 5 times and we'll go straight to the point where I already figured out how it's going to look. First of all, I want to thank Lois Anne for providing with this challenge. You can find her channel in the description below if you're interested, and with this being said, let's get started. Meanwhile you watch me furnish, I can let you in on the story I was having in mind for this while trying to make sense of all the randomness. I was imagining that once upon a time there was a guy who really liked to build and to be handy with woodworking. So like anyone that's just starting out, he didn't have a lot of money, but he had enough to build these 2 little cottages. One was for sleeping in it, and probably in the past he was also having there something to provide for the eating part, because at the moment this has been repurposed, you will see in a moment. And this other one was the bathroom, for which I used these items that you can unlock by getting, I think, to level 10 of the woodworking skill. And I thought that's a good chance to use those and to incorporate them in the story as I was thinking of this person. From this part, he started to build some more and he started building the big house. So the big house is supposedly built by this man, and this man, while building the house, has met a woman which he loved very dearly and had a child with, but twist story, she hated children. So they separated. He has raised his child, who was a boy, and the boy has eventually married, and the woman that he married with was also not very keen on having children, but she did have one. The good part of the story is that his kid and his wife did not separate, but this wife has convinced her husband that they should move out and let the child live together with her grandpa, because they had a little girl, and that is how now the grandpa is living together with his granddaughter. I hope this story has made sense. It's not very complicated, but I'm not sure I have expressed it very well. By the way, the thing with hates children is actually from the Sims traits, because I wanted to make a family to playtest this house, and I thought of this idea in general, like, oh, a grandpa that's very handy living together with his granddaughter, but I didn't have anything to connect the dots. So I built this family and I randomized the Sims, and it was just pure coincidence that both the grandpa's wife and his son's wife were having the trait with hates children. So I thought, oh my god, this is perfect. This is such a good fit. It's such a good story that they both ended up marrying women that hated children. So that's how I came up with this story. And that is how I thought that I can do something with those little cottages in the back, because I was also thinking of transforming them into small fenced-in gardens. But that was a bit strange. I mean, it would have been 2 unequal shaped gardens that didn't make a lot of sense. So I was thinking, okay, maybe they can be something like in the old times you had a bathroom outside, and starting from that idea I moved on from there and came up with the whole thing. So now we are inside the house, as you can see. I hope you have liked the furnishing of the 2 small cottages. The kitchen area is super small, and I didn't have a lot of space to do anything super fancy. Well, the house itself is not very fancy. I tried to keep the style very rustic because I wanted it to match the idea that maybe an older person is living here and the furniture is either a bit outdated or more traditional. I would suspect that somebody that's a bit older would like a more traditional furniture, I don't know, maybe it's just an overgeneralization, but this is how I was seeing it. So that is why I went with this classical wood color and the really nice stove that is very rustic with the wooden things under it. And yeah, this is the kitchen. I have also thought that they are having a puppy, and I have added some things for this puppy in the house. I have added a football and some of the treats jars in the kitchen here, and also in the hallway I will add some, and I think it's a really nice addition to the family. But if you want to take this out, it's very easy to get rid of these treats and of the football, and also the how do you call that? It's like the tiny bed for the dog. I don't know, I guess it's a dog bed. Though I have noticed that when you're playing, they're rarely sleeping on them. They usually choose to sleep wherever they get sleepy, which is a bit sad because I want my doggy to sleep in the cute little bed. Not fair. Okay, so here we are decorating the hallway. I have added some very simple and very normal things for a hallway, such as a place where to leave your keys and maybe some things that you have brought from outside, like groceries, and the classical shoe rack, which I wanted to make smaller, but initially I didn't know exactly how the tool mod works. It was the first time I was using it for making things smaller, so I mistakenly have made it really huge. But then I realized, oh, okay, this is how it's working. So like it says add a number between 0 and 25. And 25 is like the biggest you can make that item be. And 1 is the regular size. So I thought, okay, 25 is the regular size. I want it a bit smaller. I want it 24. So it was really big when I put it at 24. If you haven't used the tool mod so far, it can prove very useful in certain situations, especially when you want to rotate an object or to scale it. Like you see with the rug, I also scaled it at 0.9 because at full size it's too big. For some builds it's too big, you want it to be a bit smaller, and if you make it smaller from the game by pressing that bracket key, it gets smaller, but sometimes too small. And if you want to be super specific about it, you will need something like the tool mod. I'm not sure if there is any other way to make it work except for this mod, but it works with the mod. And also if you're on a console, I know that you can't get mods, but however, if you download the builds that have been using this mod, I mean, they have been built with the help of this mod, they will be perfectly fine for you as well. And even if you have the game on PC and you are not having the mod, it doesn't matter because you don't have to have it. It's fine, just the builder needs to have it, and then the items stay the same for everyone, which is really, really great. I mean, it's amazing. Moving on back to the build, I am here doing the bathroom, which has magically appeared. Let me tell you why. The bathrooms in this build were so small and they had such odd shapes, and it took me a really long time to figure out what can I fit in them and how can I fit the things that I want inside. And for this bathroom downstairs, I wanted to make it a full bathroom, but I couldn't because of the wall that's on a diagonal. It didn't work. I always playtest my builds, so I want to make sure that they are fully functional, and it didn't work. So I was thinking, okay, it's not working, I don't like this, let's make it into a half bathroom and some sort of a laundry room. And I added here the washing machine and the dryer. I added one of the, not the bins, the thing where you put your dirty clothes. You know what I mean, the hampers. Okay, the hampers. In the grandpa's room, there's a hamper. For the upstairs bathroom, you will see the same thing where it will flash to the already done bathroom, because I tested it and it took quite some time before figuring out the layout that worked and didn't make the Sims not be able to use it. And I have used this wallpaper which looks a bit shabby and old, and I thought it was fitting for this house. And the tile, which looks kind of old school, I don't know. It's not something I would usually use, but I tried to get a bit out of my comfort zone and use things that I thought would be more suitable for somebody that's maybe a little bit older. I was just thinking that I'm not sure how realistic it is that somebody is building the house from scratch. you would probably need somebody to help you, at least with the things like the electrical part, the plumbing part. But yeah, let's suppose that this old man has built in his youth this house, mostly by himself. And now this is the granddaughter's bedroom. I have no idea why I went with that dollhouse over there, but anyway, I have tried to make it look very girly and like a spoiled kid, sort of. Again, it's an overgeneralization that girls like pink and purple, and this is the only color for spoiled girls, because I remember very specifically that when I was a little girl, I disliked these colors, and I was like, no, blue is my favorite color. I don't like these girly colors. But it was more just me being a rebel and trying to be, oh no, I'm not like the other girls. That kind of thing, probably. Because now I really love these colors, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not sure if I really liked blue or I was just trying to be different. Not sure what was the thing back then. You can see I did those nail polishes. I was thinking that maybe she's not really a child, but more like a preteen, but we don't have that in The Sims. So you can imagine she's not like a 5-year-old child. She's more like a bigger child, but not yet a teen. Hence the nail polishes. You can see there, it's the little girl right by the bed. I was playtesting the house. You will see The Sims in the house quite often in my speed builds, because sometimes I forget to tell them, you know, you should go outside. Thank you for helping me playtest this, but you should go outside right now. And here she was, she helped me playtest it, and I realized that I couldn't use the computer in her room. I'm not sure why. If I would give the command for her to sit on the chair, she would use it, but if I just gave her the command to use the computer, she didn't. So I had to remove the computer from her room, and I have added a desk into the grandpa's room instead of that end table that you can see right now. I have changed it and added another desk. It was not my initial intention, but I had to because I really wanted them to have a computer. And now the girl can also use the desk just for doing homework, which is, I think, in the end, it was a better choice. But in Grandpa's room, there is a small balcony, but it's not really usable. It's too small. So he had a door, but I had to change that with a window because I put there the desk, so it wasn't really any space for you to... Well, not in Sims anyway, because in real life you would just push some things away. For a second we were back in the kitchen where I was picking something from there, and I saw one of the Sims that I was using, which was his son. As I was telling you, I made the family, and I was playtesting with him the kitchen, and he burnt down the kitchen. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but he was all having burnt clothes. I should be more careful and get my Sims out when I'm filming after playtesting, because this is getting a bit out of hand. Here we are in the patio. I have made it just like all of the other things that I made to the exterior of the camera, because it took me quite a while to figure it out. I remember that even with this rounded deck thing, I kept thinking that, okay, I'm gonna keep it just on the side of the house, but then I had an issue with not knowing how to make the exit from the house, and so I made it a bit more like a semi-wraparound porch thingy. Anyway, in the back of the cottages, I have made this little garden. I've also did not add the whole footage of this. I just bought some plants from the build mode, and then I made my sim plant them, and then I moved them, and then I sprayed the paint that looks like soil. Yeah, like soil under the plants, and that is how I made a small garden in on that side of the cottages. And I also added there the woodworking table and some bees that help you with the plants. This would be the back porch, or the side porch, side patio, side something that goes to the back as well. It's a nice place to relax outside. It's a bit unfortunate that it's not covered, because I didn't want to cover it. I wanted to use that trellis. I put a lot of plants on the trellis, and then later on I had to delete them because they stayed there forever. Like, even if you're just on the first level and the trellis is technically on the second floor, you will see the plants even if you're on the first floor. So there were so many plants that when you were on the first floor, you couldn't see, like literally you could not see what the heck is going on there and where is the sofa and where is that chess table. So I ended up using a lot less plants than I did initially. And here I am just building these nice pathways to the cottages and to this sandbox that I have created for the girl that has the monkey bars and swing set and that water balloon bucket. I think it's so nice if you're a kid to have such an area where you can come and play. It's so cute. I love this. I wish I had something like this when I was a kid because I really loved swing sets. They were amazing. It was my favorite thing to do as a kid, go to the park and just enjoy the swing sets. And I've also added in the backyard, you will see later on, I have added something to the pathways. I think they're flower bags and I've seen a lot of builders use them and I also use them in the back, but you will see that later. Here I'm adding the flowers and greenery to this trellis. This was the first stage and then I added a lot more, but you will not see that. You will just see me deleting them in the end. And here I'm landscaping, adding some flowers, adding some trees. I really love landscaping. In my last video, I said that I really struggle with the outside, but what I meant with struggle with the outside is that I struggle with the shell of the house and with the roofing and with how I want the house to look. That's the part where I struggle, because sometimes I feel that if you want to make a stylistic choice, it's hard to make the right choices and to keep to a style. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I try to have like some sort of a cohesive build, and I'm still learning some things. It's still a learning process. But with the landscaping, I'm not sure if there are a lot of rules that you should be taking into consideration, and I'm just going with the flow whenever I'm doing landscaping, and I really like that. And here I'm returning for the third time, I think, to the back side of these cottages, adding some decor. I added that little table on the left side. I will add there some lights later on, and I really liked these crates with the fruits and the barrel and everything. I thought it fit perfectly over there and it made sense. For example, if you would be harvesting, you can put stuff over there. I know you can't, but let's imagine that you can. So that was what I was thinking when I put those things there. I tried to be thoughtful when I place things in the rooms, but also outside. I try to make things make sense, even though they are not necessarily useful for the Sims. For example, hallways, they are not something that your Sim will actually use. They will not be putting their keys on a table. They don't even have groceries, so they will not have anything to live anywhere. So it doesn't, it's not something that they need, but it's something that I want to add if I have the space, because it makes the house look more realistic and more lived in. So that's why I'm going for these small touches of realism, even though they're not something that adds in gameplay. It's more of a decor option that I choose to have. If you like this build and you want to have this house in your game, you can search it on the Sims 4 gallery. You can search by my ID Cookieinthejar. I have forgotten to add the hashtag, and you cannot edit. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but you cannot edit things once they're up on the gallery. So you will find it by searching my ID though. It will be there. If you choose to download this house, please make sure to enable the cheat bb.moveobjects on. You can enable cheats by pressing Shift Ctrl C, and if you already don't know these cheats, you will find them in the description below. I have also used a couple of more cheats in order to complete this house, but you are not required to use those in order to have this house. However, if you're interested in building yourself and you want to know them, they are in the description box below. And here I'm just finishing the house. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video. It was very nice for me to work on this house. It was a great challenge. So thank you again for the shell challenge. initiator, Lois Anne. Please don't forget to go and see her channel as well. She's making really cute builds and videos of different challenges. The last one that she did was every room is a different how do you call those? Star sign. Okay, every room is a different star sign. I really enjoy looking at such videos, and maybe you will too. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a like. And if you want to see more of my builds in the future, you can also subscribe to the channel. It would be a great pleasure for me to have you in my journey. And if you have any recommendations, or if you have anything that you would like to see me build, please leave it also in the comments down below, and I will do my best to take into consideration your requests. And as we are approaching the end of the video, you will see how I deleted the plants that I was talking to you about from the trellis. Look at this, it's a jungle up there. I am a super big plant lover, but what I did there was a bit of an overkill. I tried to cover it as much as I could because I thought it's gonna be some sort of a shelter from the rain, at least, you know, in my head. Because as I was saying earlier, lots of things that make sense in real life don't make sense in The Sims. And here I was just trying to see, okay, can I actually see something, or it's still covered and I cannot use this area. Yeah, anyway. And here it's the cute pathways that I was talking about earlier with the flower bags, and in the end you can see the house. I was just doing some sort of a here's the house, because you didn't really get a chance to see it because I moved straight into the building the inside. So thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!